What's up guys, welcome to the marathon experience. This is day 3 of the 100 days run streak challenge. Let's go! What's up guys? For those who are new to the channel, my name is Jeremy and I'm currently running a run streak. I am running 10k every day and I hope to do that for a total of 100 days. And if you want to follow along, don't hesitate to subscribe, hit the notification bell button so you get a notification every time a new video comes out. Before we start discussing about motivation and how to stay motivated during a run streak, today I still haven't done my run, so I'm gonna need to get that out of the way. Morning was pretty hectic. I was late, contractor was coming to fix stuff in the kitchen and I didn't manage to do my runs, which I usually do in the morning for weekdays. But hey, that's what it is. Sometimes you just have to roll with what you have. As you know, part of the objective of this challenge is to lose some weight. So here is the weight of the day. As you can see, not much different between today and yesterday's measurements, but it's slightly going down, so I guess that's okay. Now, before I start to talk about motivation and the 4 more important concepts that I can give you about motivation and how do I try to apply them into my own life to stay motivated even during a run streak like this. Before we do all that, I still have to get my run done for the 3rd day. I'm gonna go change and get ready for my run. Let's go! Let's go! Ooh. Whew. Good run today. As you can see, slightly over an hour, like an hour and 5 minutes for this 10k. So I ran slightly slower today, also because I'm running in the evening this time. Tomorrow I'll be running early in the morning, so I have a shorter time to recover. I felt it was good also as a 3rd day in this run streak to take it easy, take time to relax and enjoy the run. Okay, so now stretching, shower, come back. Let's now talk about motivation. First, I want to say that the idea of this episode comes from an email I received from Coralie. So thank you very much, Coralie, for sending me this email. Coralie was basically asking about how to stay motivated during a run streak, because sometimes even if physically you're okay, mentally you don't feel like you want to run, or you might feel like it's just too much to ask to your body to do. And I think we all relate that we've all been in this situation at some point, and there are some strategies that I think could be helpful in order to keep this motivation going. I have actually 4 concepts that I've read from books, or I've seen them in documentaries, or anything around mindset and motivation, basically. The 4 concepts are: start with the end in mind, love the journey, be accountable, motivation is a muscle. Okay, that's it. Have a good day. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna go in detail in all 4 of them. I'll try to give you a little more explanation about what do they mean and how you can implement them in your day-to-day life. Let's start with the end in mind. This one is pretty obvious, but sometimes it could be easy to lose focus and forget what the objective was in the first place. I discussed this point a little bit in the very first video. I'll put a link somewhere up there, when I was talking about why do we run. Basically, before you start doing anything, before any challenges, you've got to put yourself in the mind of you being successful at what you've done. So if, for instance, you want to do a run streak of 100 days, running 1 mile every day, you have to put yourself in a position 100 days from now where you have succeeded and everybody is congratulating you about this. You feel really happy about yourself because you've achieved those 100 days. For instance, you can visualize celebrating with your friends, or maybe having this nice t-shirt that you promised yourself you would buy if you would achieve this challenge, etc, etc. But basically, you need to start visualizing yourself as successful in this challenge. This principle doesn't come from me, it comes from a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which is a really great book. I'll put a link down in the description if you're interested. It has been a principle that a lot of athletes have declared to be using, try to visualize them as winning. I've seen some athletes saying that they were visualizing themselves as answering to the journalist about how they won and how they were happy and congratulating their family even before the race actually happened. The whole idea of this is to visualize what you want to do and how successful do you want to be. Second principle is love the journey. Actually, the full sentence is love the journey, not the destination. Although it's kind of contradictory with the first principle, because in the first principle you basically try to see the destination and that will be your engine, your fuel to get there. On the second principle, you have to enjoy the journey. So it cannot be only chore for 100 days, for instance, hating it all days just because you want to get at some point. You've got to create some mechanism on day to day so that everything is enjoyable and you're having fun basically along the way. A good way for that would be to use social media, for instance. I see tons of Facebook groups that are great for runners, and every time you share one of your run in there, you get a lot of great comments from people and encouragement and all of this. It's like it's fun. It's giving you a lot of cool boosters, a lot of energy, and a lot of dopamine in your brain. The whole system creates fun basically, and that's why you're gonna enjoy it every day, and you're gonna be motivated to go the next day and the next and the next, etc. There are multiple other ways to have fun when you run. You can try to mix up the routes, so don't always do the same thing. That can be boring at some point. I can talk about that because on my first run streak I did for a month. I keep on the same route for 31 days. Believe me, at the end it was kind of boring. So I would suggest strongly that if you want to have fun, try to mix it up and go into different terrain, different area. You can also try to do something that I think is really cool. You can try to take some delayed commuting journeys, like let's say going to work or coming back from work or going to a friend, etc. And instead of taking a car or a bicycle to go there, this time you just run. And you'd be surprised how cool it is to just go to a dinner with some friend and just say, hey, okay, I'll come in an hour. Can I take a shower at your place? Okay, cool. You pack your stuff in your backpack, you just run all the way there and take a shower, and it'll feel so good to be with your friends after you did this. I remember, for instance, when we were living in Paris, Margot was working on an office which was along the Seine. So I would get out of my work, go to hers. She would actually change in the toilet in her office and meet me outside of her work, and we would just run back together to our place, which was like 10k away, which was really cool. I mean, it's a commuting time, which is usually some kind of a lost time, so to say. So for this lost time, you do get your 10k run and you're having fun. And in this case, we were running along the Seine, which was pretty cool. So there is a lot of ways to make this fun. You just have to find your own way. Now, let's move on to the third principle, which is being accountable. Being accountable is probably the most important thing to stay motivated all the time. When I'm saying accountability here, I mean that there should be people depending on your results. Like there should be people expecting you that you achieve this challenge. People are counting on you, and in this case, you don't want to disappoint them, so you are going to achieve this challenge. That's what accountability is. There are tons of ways to get this accountability. Again, the use of social media is pretty good. I've seen tons of people that when they start running and they really want to achieve this objective, they just create a new Instagram account. Let's say your name is Coralie, you just create a Coralie Runs, new Instagram account, and you post every day you run, you post a picture of your run, like just a quick pic. It doesn't have to be fancy, it doesn't have to be well thought, just something basic. You make sure that you send your profile to all of your friends. So you'll be probably have 20, 30, maybe 50 people following you, and you'll get some emotional booster along the way. The good thing with accountability is that it could come from anywhere. All of those little reminders are putting in your brain the idea that someone is counting on you. Someone needs you to follow along on this journey. And that feeling is really going to help you move forward. The fourth principle that I want to talk about is motivation is a muscle. I've read this in a book. I think it was extremely interesting concept that motivation indeed is not something that just is dropped on us like this and we are motivated by some things and some other things we're not. It's not binary like this, basically. The concept was that motivation should be seen as a muscle because one, sometimes you need to flex it, sometimes you need to use it to resist to something or to push yourself towards doing something. Sometimes you also need to give it some rest and relax it so that you be able to use it in another time. That's why the whole concept, for instance, of cheat meal in a diet could exist. Like if you're following a diet that is kind of strict, at some point you gotta be able to relax your motivation and say, okay, during this meal, I don't use my muscle motivation to keep me from eating some bad stuff, and I'm just gonna let it go and eat whatever I want. I think it's a very strong concept to think about motivation, especially to think about when should I rest it or when should I exercise it, exactly like a muscle. That's it, guys. I hope it helps you. If you have any question like Coralie had, don't hesitate to shoot me an email at jeremy@themarathonexperience.com. I'll put the email address in the description. Also, I'm really curious to know about what is your motivation, what is your unique way to motivate yourself, and have you found yourself in any of those four principles? So please drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Oh, and today the video was actually sponsored by the like button. So we got a 100% discount on hitting and smashing the like button. So it's totally free. You just go down there, click on the thumbs up, And that's it. Thank you very much for following this episode. We'll talk tomorrow.